Hello, welcome. It's Auret here from essetinoartists. In this video, we're going to look at how to schedule a Zoom meeting in advance. So you're either watching this video because you just signed up for a Zoom account, not sure how to get started, or maybe you're wanting to see the process on how it works to schedule meeting with others before actually signing up. If at any point you're interested in signing up for Zoom, I will have the link in the description below so you can click on that and check it out. So let's get into it. The very first thing is that you want to log into your Zoom account. So I'm on the zoom.us page right here. I've already logged in. So instead of the login words at the top here, it says my account. So I'm just going to go right into my account. So I can schedule a meeting from two different places. I can schedule it right at the top here, or I can actually go into meetings and I will have a button right here that says schedule a new meeting. So let's click on schedule a new meeting. And I'm on the basic plan, by the way, so you don't need to have a higher plan. It's just super basic plan. And the thing to keep in mind though with the basic plan is that if you are planning on having 3 or more participants, your call time, the length of your call is limited to 40 minutes. If you need something more, then you'll need to upgrade to the next plan, which I think is the Pro. So just keep that in mind. So right off the bat, you'll need to pick a topic here. So you can write, let's just do one-on-one YouTube consult with Joe. And then you can put a description if you like. It's not optional. I usually don't put anything in there. And then you'll schedule the meeting. So you'll pick a date and a time. You just need to click on the calendar here to choose that, as well as, pretty simple, straightforward. I'll just leave this as is. Your duration, so you can choose how long your meeting will be. Pretend like I'm just scheduling a meeting with one other person, so it can actually be an hour. Make sure you choose your time zone. So we're in Vancouver, BC, Canada right now. I want to make sure that the other person knows that it is 4 p.m. Vancouver time. It will show in their time what it's actually supposed to be, so keep that in mind, but make sure you choose your time zone that you are scheduling the time for, or the meeting for. Next, you can check mark here whether it's going to be a reoccurring meeting or not. So if you want to, this kind of saves you from scheduling the same meeting over and over again. You can literally just check this box and let it know how often it's supposed to repeat until when. I'm just going to leave that unchecked. Over here where it says schedule for, if you're scheduling this meeting for somebody else, then you would click on the drop down and choose their name. They do need to be added to your Zoom account in order for you to do that. Otherwise, you'll just see it say myself here. But if you're scheduling a meeting for yourself and with someone else, then you can leave it on myself. So your meeting ID. When you sign up for a Zoom account, everybody gets their own personal meeting ID. That meeting ID right here is basically like your virtual meeting room. So at any given time, you can jump onto this room or virtual room and have a meeting with someone. If you want to generate a new ID each time you schedule a new meeting, which is what we do, then you can click on that here. Now, what's the difference? You might be asking, well, if you could use your personal meeting ID for various reasons. If you have a team of other people where you usually meet, maybe that's your personal meeting space, virtual meeting room, and you would always just be meeting there. But if you're meeting with other clients and you don't want your clients to know your personal meeting room ID, then choosing generate automatically would just generate a brand new meeting room ID where you would jump on the call with someone. You can choose whether or not to require a meeting password. So that's entirely up to you. If you do, you check that box and put in the password right there. These options right here indicate whether or not you want to automatically start video when you have yourself, the host, or a participant jump on the call. So if you don't want the video to start automatically, you can leave them as off. Otherwise, mark it to on so that it automatically starts it up. And if you choose off and during the meeting you want to actually turn on the video, you can do that. It's very easy to turn on your video. This is just if you wanted to automatically start video when you jump on the call. Next is audio. I just leave this on both. I don't actually use Zoom where people call in with the telephone and listen into the call. If it's just a simple one-on-one video call that I'm scheduling with someone else through Zoom, then I'm just going to leave it on both. I think this is more so applicable to if you wanted to have someone call in and listen, or if they don't have access at all to a microphone on their laptop. So you can just leave that on as both. And I just leave that as is. So let's look at the meeting options. Enable join before host just basically means, are you allowing your participant to get and to jump into the meeting room, the virtual meeting room, or do you want them to not be able to jump in until you actually start the call? To be honest, I feel like a lot of these options are not necessary. It could be so much simpler to schedule a meeting, and then you can decide whether or not you want to go into advanced features and, really go into checking in all these options. But you have to do this with every single meeting that you schedule. So I'm just going through this thoroughly, explaining what each one means so you know. This second one here, mute participants upon entry. So similar to how whether or not you want someone to automatically have video turned on when they jump on the call, this is, do you automatically want to mute participants when jumping onto the call? So again, it's kind of more applicable for if you have more people jumping on. This is something that would be good to check off so that you don't have people jumping on and a whole bunch of background noise as they do. But if it's just a one-on-one thing, I usually leave that unchecked. Enable waiting room, again, applies to if you have more participants join in on the call. This basically means that you as the host have the ability to control when participants join the call. So what happens is that your participants will go into a meeting or a waiting room first when they jump on the call rather than the actual virtual meeting room. And this way, as the host, once you've prepared everything on your end and you've settled your camera, your mic, then you can either bring each specific participant in individually or just bring them all in at once into the meeting room. Only authenticated users can join basically means that participants need to authenticate or verify their identity, or whether it's through a password, before they can actually join the meeting. And this last one's pretty straightforward. Record the meeting automatically on the local computer. Just basically means whether you want to record your meetings and have it saved to your computer automatically. So like I said, these are really thorough options. I typically only just put in a topic, choose the date and time, the duration, make sure the time zone's correct, usually leave that on myself, generate automatically for a meeting ID if it's with a client. I leave this both on, and I don't really click on anything else, to be honest. So once you're done that, you can click on save, finally. And, once you start these or create these meetings in Zoom, it's much faster once you know what you're doing. But just wanted to thoroughly explain each of those options. So now that you have your meeting scheduled, you can add it to Google Calendar, Outlook, or Yahoo. And from within those specific programs is where you send you share this invite with your participant. Or what you can also do, if you want to keep it really simple, is just click on this area right here where it says copy the invitation. What it will do is that it will copy all of the details of your scheduled meeting, including the link for where to join. And then you just need to click on copy meeting invitation. It's going to copy it to your clipboard, and then you can go and paste this in an email and email it to your participant who's joining the meeting with you. So that's pretty much it. If you wanted to go back and edit anything, if you needed to reschedule it or anything like that, you can always go into meetings and then go back in here where it's your one-on-one consult with Joe. And you can either delete it entirely or actually click into it and then go down here and say edit this meeting, and you can change up the time. So that's it. That's how you schedule your Zoom meeting with someone. Again, I went really thorough into it, but it usually doesn't take that long. And you can even save your meeting as a template. Like, let me just show you here quickly. If I hit save, you can go down here where it says save meeting as template so that you don't have to go through the whole thing. You literally just keep reusing that template and adjust the time and date and maybe the topic, and that's about it. So let me know if that's been helpful for you guys by giving this video a like or a comment or subscribing to the channel. That would be very much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.